talk back to you. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. Baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill. Take you like a fill you like a pill to get my fill. No, do me in the worst way. Don't let me sleep, never say you're sorry. Oh, maybe I'll leave, baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill. Take you like a fill you like a pill to get my close to harmony. No, all the sound asleep.
Welcome, everybody, here to the Rose League playoffs, the semifinals of the Platinum Division. My name is Kolechki, on your play-by-play first night of me on the producer side, but introducing my color, Mr. Mega Lad. What's up, sir?
How's it going? We're hopefully going to get some great Overwatch to see tonight between these two teams.
All right, so these two teams are inside of the Platinum Division round, and this is the semifinal round. The winner will face off the Conference 2 champion, which is the Los Coyotes, and this is working out sort of in like any other playoff way like the NFL does or the NHL does, where it's conference versus conference, splits first, and then the champions of the conferences meet up. And Nebula, Phoenix, and Nightwolves are centered in the Conference 1 sort of championship game between these two. Now, in the standings-wise, these two separated just a little bit. When you take a look at their conferences, when you see the Nightwolves, they are the number 2 actually on this board, according to the Rose League leaderboard. They are 7-3 with a +3 map differential. So you like to see some close matches with the Nightwolves, but in the end, it looks like they tend to favor the winning edge after all is said and done. And then Nebula Phoenix is 5-5 with a +2 map differential. So not too bad going into it. As long as you have a plus map differential, these teams look to stand out a little bit. But it comes close to what it looks like on their map differentials as we enter the first map of Busan. So from what you see so far, what are these teams up to?
From what I've seen, it's not really what the teams want to do, it's what the map pool's going to do for them. Especially here on Busan, you do see a lot of that standard GOATS play. People are trying to flex onto the Sombra, but it's interesting because Busan's one of the few maps that doesn't allow that to happen as much. Obviously, the mechanical skill is a factor, so if you're good enough, you can play it anywhere. It's always just a thing.
All right, so first map's going to come up to, in Busan, is going to up to Sanctuary, a little bit of a smaller midpoint, as you can see, right around the drum, the Sanctuary drum, as you would call it in in Sanctuary, my apologies. So what is it about this small thing that makes this point so kind of hard to get to?
Well, the thing is, this point, not only is it tiny and half of it's covered by this ginormous drum, but the skybox on this map is incredibly low, which doesn't allow for a lot of crazy things like Pharah play, which you do see our team loaded up on the side there. Unfortunately, I do not have team names, so I am just bluffing it right now, but it's all okay.
All right, so we'll see Nightwolves in the blue, Nebula Phoenix in the red right now. We'll take a look at the starting lineups here, and pretty much it looks like what is a goats comp on the Nightwolves side. Nebula Phoenix going to draw up a little bit of a 3 DPS side. That's very interesting to watch.
It's going to be interesting to see the far play, like I was mentioning, with the low skybox. There's just not a whole lot of room you can use to maneuver around with, but this is going to come down to if they can get early pickoffs on this goats composition.
So point unlocked at about 15 seconds here already. This blue team from the side of Nightwolves is going to come inside the point already, trying to rush in, but they see the 3 DPS is already taking out Neutron. That is the Wrecking Ball. And they're going to get a 6v5 situation in the blue. But it looks like this red team's starting to split up just a little bit here on each end. And Weaver Blade, even though blue takes over the point on the side of the Nightwolves, already has Rocket Barrage coming in. That's 3 kills coming in from Weaver Blade. And a team kill already. Wow, that was early.
Well, yeah, Weaver Blade is proving me wrong there with that amazing Pharah play. Just able to rain down damage, and that's what you want to do in a triple DPS comp versus the GOATs. It's just the matter of getting the damage in where it needs to be done, because GOATs does have sustain, but not enough sustain to out-sustain Pharah Barrage.
So a little bit of a change on the lineups here. They're going to go with a 2-2-2, more of a dive comp from what it looks like, but QED already going down. How about this Pharah coming out from Weaver Blade, already doing some damage, already halfway to ult, might I add. Nakobe is going to take down 2 more picks as well, and this team from Night Phoenix showing you why, or Nightwolves rather, or I'm sorry, this is Nebula Phoenix on the red side, my apologies. Nebula Phoenix right here in the Conference 1 championship game.
Well, yes, indeed. What you see right here is just a matter of great positioning. They're able to take their advantage from capping the point, and they're able to just press this advantage. You see how far forward that Weaver Blade is playing. He has Sombra scouting everything for him, so any approach that the Nightwolves try to make is just going to be scouted out, and there's not a whole lot to do other than get a pick and hope.
So 53% coming on. Already an EMP coming out. That's 4 people inside of it. Another Rocket Barrage for Weaver Blade. This time only getting QED, but that might just be enough to end the fight inside of a now 6v4 situation, and this is not looking good for the side of the Nightwolves.
No, it's not, because they get that whole fight done with just 2 ultimates. There is that late pick, so possibly there might be some stackers on the side of Nightwolves. But on the side of Nightwolves, you are finally coming up on ultimates, so hopefully you can come into this fight, force out some ults, and come in with your own EMP and get a huge fight.
82% enrolling could be the final fight here. Infrared sight being used by Nakobe as well as Valkyrie from Yarzik. Only 1 ultimate, 2 ultimates not coming up. Fluffalo has a sound barrier to use. Ray will not be able to use the EMP as he goes down from the side of Weaver Blade. A nano boost being used onto the Pharah from Weaver Blade. That's going to get 1 kill to start, and the landmines being brought up for Neutron as well. You've got the overtime clock running. Destro with a desperate attempt to take down Nessus. Another Rocket Barrage. Third Rocket Barrage coming for Weaver Blade. Gets C407S outside of mech. And the residents keep coming on. An EMP coming from Ray. This time, in time. 4 people inside of the EMP. See if anything can happen. Nothing really coming out of that EMP. No follow-up. It's just a desperation attempt from what it looks like. You're going to be able to get a kill onto Fluffalo. That's a good pick, but the point does flip. And for right now, the overtime clock will settle down, but the fight continues here. And they're just going to keep going around as the desperate attempt from Ray to hold on here. Got Ana trying to hold on. A self-destruct bomb coming right down. Stairs not really going to get anybody. That pretty much ends the fight for now.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the fight just is going to keep on going here, but he's going to favor the side of Nightwolves in the end, just because they are not being forced to use every ult in the bank, whereas on the other side, they had to use a lot just to lose the point, but they are at that 99%, so it is just a one-fight territory for them. Win it once and it's over.
Take a look at the ult economies as well. You've got 3 ultimates, a building, or now 5 building ultimates, excuse me, with Neutron coming up on those landmines again. It's more of a spread out game on the side of this team from Nightwolves, with Destro being the only one to have a ultimate here with the Rocket Barrage EMP from Ray, and Nemario with the Valkyrie coming up here. But an EMP, both using it at the same time. Only problem, only one, basically, or sorry, Nessington gets 4, but 1 hack onto Sweaty Brawls. That's pretty much it. So this red team from Nebula Phoenix has the upper advantage. This time Nemario goes down at C4OS. It's out of mech. Valkyrie is used from, I believe that's Yarzik. But not really getting anything out of it. The Rocket Barrage comes on to QED. Overtime clock will start to run as Nebula Phoenix flips the point. They've got the overtime clock running. Rocket Barrage coming in, not really going to get anything from Destro. Overtime clock runs, and that will be it. The Sanctuary held on by Nebula Phoenix. It's 1-0.
And Destro did try to mimic the Pharah play as he saw Weaver Blade was able to pull it off with a lot of success. But on the other side, there was the Widow to at least counter and keep the Pharah in check. Whereas on the side of Nightwolves, there was really nothing to stop outside of K4os on the Diva to really just keep him zoned out on the Pharah.
All right, so in this case now, Mecha Base, a little more of a wider one, but you get the randomness of the walls coming up here. What does Nightwolves have to do to adjust to this?
I think you have to realize that the Pharah play is a problem. DPS is not where you want to go. You want to try to force the Goat's composition. If you can force it, then possibly aggress, because they weren't... Nightwolves wasn't really aggressing at all. They were kind of getting aggressed on. They have to be the one to make the first move. Otherwise, Nebula is just going to run over them.
So looking on both sides, a little bit of different compositions you can see, but mostly the same as they start running in here. Both going to the upper deck to start. Remember, this thing has 2 levels to it. So it's really going to come down to who can take advantage of the upper position. Looks like this team in blue from Nightwolves is getting pushed back. Nebula Phoenix has the upper advantage with Fluffalo going down. Neutron getting 2 swings of the hammer going down. Taking out Destro, QED going down as well. 6v3 situation. Not much you can do here. And it looks like Nebula Phoenix will have this fight and most likely the point.
Yeah, and like I said there, Nightwolves really needed to be the aggressor in that situation. On this high ground, that's pretty much always what the first fight will happen. Nobody wants that fight on the point. The walls are just too unpredictable, and they can mess you up in unpredictable ways. But Nightwolves just chose to get aggressed on, and they paid for it dearly.
Remember, this map right here, if Nebula Phoenix wins this, it is over. 6 people on the point. They get all the way underneath, and nobody notices it. Earthshatter comes in, not really going to do anything for... I believe that was Neutron that used it. Raleig's going to come out from Weaver Blade, try to keep Neutron alive as Neutron is down to just about 25% of his health, as it's not going to hold on for long. They're able to get the kill on Neutron, but both Reinhardt's going down at the same time. It's trade by trade, 1 by 1, but it looks like the supports, how about Weaver, Sweaty, and Yarzik getting the kills that they need. Self-destruct coming right down the middle. That's going to at least get a Diva mech from what it looks like. No, gets behind the wall just in time. It's going to keep going here, but Nightwolf still holding on to the point. This is a very impressive hold for what they had. CD4OS going to go down, and Nebula Phoenix will flip.
And I mean, that hold right there is pretty good. You're going to get about 33% out of just using a Diva Bomb, just from using that underground tunnel in order to flip. They weren't prepared for it. The Nebula was holding on the high ground, which just gave them an advantage. And it looks like they're going to try to go underground again, do the same exact thing, get more percentage on the point.
33% to now a rolling 30% now, as again they're going to try the same strategy, this time with a little more ultimate skews. Earthshatter coming in, that's going to get at least one Brigida down, but a Graviton Surge as well as the Self-Destruct coming in. Not a lot of them coming in at the same time, really. A Cyber this time, Earthshatter getting 3 people. C4S QED also down in that fight. QED is going to go down. Transcendence is going to try to keep this team from Nightwolves alive as it's a 65 situation. They're going to try, just really, this is just a massacre of supports going on here. C4S able to take down Neutron, but 2 more kills as Destro goes down in the hands of Yarzik off the map. Not what you want in this situation, and Nebula Phoenix will hold on after all ults are said and done.
Yeah, and as you see there, Yarzik in the end held onto that beat for so long, was able to provide it for his team when they needed it the most. In these GOATS composition fights, it just comes down to if you can hold your support ults, there we go, longer, then you'll just get the advantage in the later fight and you'll win it.
Gonna try a different strategy this time. Gonna go up into the catwalk side on the 2nd level, right above the point. Not gonna really cap it just yet, but they're down to what looks like their final fight. Losing a lot of health to start, by the way. Not even going on the point. And QED already down to half health. CO4OS gonna get out of mech as well. Self-destruct just to hold on. Maybe get a remech here. Transcendence also pulled out. Earthshatter, that's gonna get the entire team except for Destro, who's gonna go down as well. And that should be a swing to the hammer. Graviton Surge in a desperate attempt to hold on. They may have this point though, with Fluffalo's the only one on point. Unmexed, and Nessington is going to go down, but Fluffalo ends it, and the overtime clock will have to run out. QED holds on, Graviton Surge prevents it, and Nebula Phoenix gets the first point of the semifinal matchup.
I mean, right there, that was just clean ultimate usage from Nebula. They didn't overextend, they didn't use anything, they didn't have to, and it just pays off in the end to have patience with your ultimates. And right there, if you're Nightwolf, you need to realize that you have to aggress. You can't be the one to wait in this type of engagement.
Weaver Blade getting the play of the game here right at the end of that fight, actually, but you can see that the Pharaoh worked out at the beginning map of Sanctuary. Now in the Mecha base, Weaver Blade still doing his thing on the Nebula. So really, in essence, here Nebula Phoenix winning that all point 1-0 in the sense of 2-0 on Sanctuary and the Mecha base. So really, Nightwolves, maybe they may not be the best to control, but coming up here in just a little while, if you can break past that point, you've got Eichenwald and Numbani coming up. If you're the side of Nightwolves, which one are you taking?
In this specific engagement, it looks like they're just Nightwolves' goats play is not as clean as Nebula Phoenix, so your best chance might be to opt into the Numbani, which is a Winston high ground advantage, but you lose that advantage going into second and third on Numbani. So you have to be confident not only in your Winston defense on first, but either after that you'd have to be confident within your goats play.
Mm-hmm. And so we take a look at this this team here from Nebula Phoenix. Like you said, Nightwolves Goats comp not as clean as Nebula Phoenix's side, but Nebula Phoenix coming into this is the what you would call, if I take a look at the scoreboard here, Nightwolves coming in here as the favorite of Conference 1 from the Nebula Phoenix side. But again, these two teams were close in their matchup back in the regular season in a 3-2. So I think we're excited to see another one, don't you?
I mean, definitely, indeed. I mean, yes, the scoreline does put Nightwolves at a very huge advantage. However, teams can clean it up in a playoff scenario when it's do or die time. It's a very different type of pressure. And as we see, for example, even on the other side of the conference table, your number 5 seed is actually the one waiting in the finals for the winner of this match. So anything can happen when the pressure's on.
So the pressure is on here, and let's take a look at what they are picking. It looks like Ray from the side of Nightwolves is going to pick Eichenwald. So we are headed to Germany from South Korea. So it's going to be interesting to see. Remember, this is a hybrid map, so got to get that first point all together, which Nightwolves failed to do on Busan in control. But now Nebula Phoenix is going to have the attacking side first. Both sides are ready to play. So let's see what happens here in Eichenwald. And this is, I think, one of the most aesthetically pretty maps, if you would say, just because of the cast and all that. So, but what's it going to take for Nightwolves here on Eichenwald to win out this point?
For this point right here, I mean, there's a multitude of things you can do. You can try to opt into the goats. Maybe Busan wasn't your map. You take it down, you go again, you try for the goats. Knowing that it may not be the most optimal thing on first, but going into second and third, it will give you that extreme ult advantage. Or if you want to try to hold first hard, you could definitely go for a bunker composition with the Bastion and the Orisa, obviously set up right here on the city streets. It's always nice, always comfy. But, I mean, you're opting into a map where Pharah can be played against Nebula. That's something I wouldn't do in a heartbeat, let's say that.
I mean, would you have taken Numbani if you're Nightwolves?
I mean, either way, you're opting into a bit of Pharah play, so I guess there's not really a better decision. I guess it comes down to what you truly believe you can do as the defenders either way. And it looks like with the compositions, obviously nothing's set in stone unless you're a defender here. We might be rolling out on a Bastion composition.
All right, so let's take a look at your lineups here from right now. Can't really tell what's going to be on the side of the attack from Nebula Phoenix, but on the side of Nightwolves, you can see what they're bringing out. They're going to bring out a Bastion from Ray and an Orisa from QED. This is going to be an interesting one.
I love this composition. No, some people will opt Destro instead of be on a Widow, but I love the McCree instead because it does prevent a Sombra as long as the McCree plays with his team, and it allows Bastion to get so much more utility without having to worry about a Sombra being in his back line.
All right, so let's see what happens here with the Bastion, Orisa, and Baptiste combo here coming out. Something you don't really see, but Destro also bringing out the McCree on the attacking side. Of course, like you said, Weaver Blade going to bring out the Pharaoh. Your Kobe on to the Sombra as well. Maybe seeing that they've got that Bastion, maybe trying to get a hack on it in the background, but with everybody grouped up there, you might make a mistake if that is there. But they're going to try the Pharaoh play from right up top. Ray's going to take down Weaver Blade for just a little bit of health here and there. But the thing with the Orisa shield is that thing's on a lower cooldown than you would expect it to be, so that the shield might build up as soon as you think.
Exactly, and also there's a lot of damage that thing can take, so if it's only the Pharah peppering in damage on it, Bastion does have a lot of sustainability, and then of course you're counting the immortality field, and as you see there, Destro doing what I demonstrated for him, just countering Sombra.
Alright, so 3 minutes left to go on the clock, 1 minute wasted, nobody's touched point just yet. They're going to find yourselves in a little bit of a position here, trying to push as much as you can, but that shield only lasts for so long. If you get enough damage onto it, you can get the pressure you need onto this Bastion. The only problem is Bastion's dealing so much damage, or at least trying to deal damage to Neutron's shield, that there really is no time to push, and it looks like this game is going to be a battle of ults.
Pretty much, it's just going to come down to Nebula trying to get in on this Bastion. They want the hack on the Bastion, obviously, or they need a way to stop him from raining damage. Because if he just continues to rain damage as he's able to do, then there's just not a lot you can do as any type of attacker.
Rocket Barrage coming in, great eat up there from the defense matrix of C4OS. Only problem, Graviton Surge not eaten up just yet. Already going to get a tick here as the Mercy and the Pharmacy combo on the point. I don't think anybody notices this, but they made hunt first point without anybody seeing it. They've got the first two ticks, 71.3% on the way now. And oh my god, Ray just on a rampage right now, taking out Neutron, Weaver, and Yarzik at the same time. And no more heals, big heals, no more reses. That fight is over, but not necessarily bad for Nebula Phoenix. They got two ticks.
They got two ticks for free there, and as you saw right there, Weaver just built a barrage in possibly sub 30 seconds. I didn't keep the exact track on it, but when you have everybody clustered up like this, Pharah can just rain in rockets and deal massive amounts of damage, build that ult incredibly quickly.
So a minute and 30 seconds left to go, 90 seconds on the clock. They're going to try the same thing again. One teammate is going to go inside of the side castle. As you can see, that leads straight to the point. Maybe they're going to go upstairs. That's exactly what they're going to do. I don't know if they noticed this yet or not, but it looks like they have noticed the crossing, so they're going to try. With a minute 15 seconds remaining, we'll see if they can get another free tick. You can't let up another one if you're on the side of the Night Wolves. You're gonna have a Valkyrie coming out for Yarzik. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, unfortunately. Ooh, that bad EMP, go back to the action.
Yeah, EMP is going to come out. That's going to take down anyone's shield here. They're just going to swing the hammer away. QED, by the way, a great biotic grenade from Sweaty Brawls. That's going to be able to take down QED in an instant with Raygon as well. That's a lot of damage done. How about Destro trying to hold on to this point by himself along with Fluffalo? And that's a win for Nightwolves. How about that?
And they do get the res up on the Bastion, so the Bastion's going to be... It looks like they want to stick on the Bastion cop. The only downside is Orisa is going to have to come back from spawn. So if Nebula can act fast, they're almost at that barrage. If they can get in before QED is able to get back, then they could have a very good chance to finally take this point.
Split up the party now. 20 seconds left to go. QED making his way back, and QED makes it back in time for the rest of this fight to go down. So 20 seconds remaining left to go. Now they're going to switch on over. Kobe not on the Sombra anymore, but it's going to go onto the Junkrat. Rocket Barrage comes in. Now a Deadeye coming in. Is that going to get anybody? That does get the mech of Nessington, so this looks like a good fight here for the side of Nightwolf. Self-destruct right down in the middle. Not going to find anybody, but C4OS will find a kill on Sweaty Brawls out of mech. Nobody gets on point in time, and round number one is over. Nightwolves turning things around just a little bit.
Yes, indeed, that Bastion composition, very powerful. Unfortunately, the Pharah just couldn't bring in enough damage to end it between the Immortality Field and the Orisa throwing down shield. And I think that just comes down to Destro being able to keep the Sombra zoned back off of her Bastion, off of the Baptiste as well, and just absolutely stopping anything from moving forward on the side of Nebula.
Mm-hmm. So now it looks like Nightwolves has completely switched this around. I think Nebula Phoenix, like you said, without much of a Pharaoh play there going on, Weaverblade didn't have much to do of anything. So what does Nebula Phoenix need to do here? Do they copy the same comp, or do you think that maybe it's kind of reverse psychology, thinking that if Nightwolves does it, Nebula Phoenix is going to do it, some Nightwolves knows how to counter it?
I mean, I'm of the personal opinion that the strongest composition in the game right now is that Bastion comp, specifically with McCree, because, like I was pointing out, Sombra can't counter the Bastion at all. McCree can keep it zoned, keep it on lock, while the rest of the team does what they need to do in a 5v5 encounter, while the Sombra and McCree have a little 1v1 in the backlines.
All right, so let's take a look at the lineups here on both sides. Can't really tell what the side of Nightwolves are going to pull out until the last second, basically. On the side of this defense from Nebula Phoenix, Nessington and Neutron going to bring out the Orisa Rodon combo. Normally we'd see that in environmental kills, but they're going to pull that one out nonetheless. Sweaty Brawls and Yarzik, your healers on the Ana and the Mercy, Weaver Blade, and Kobe, Farah, and McCree, respectively.
All the Folk is still a great pick composition, especially with McCree. With the new buffs, he just rains in damage. Antis for any type of GOAT composition. This could be a very good defensive hold for this comp.
I want to point out, by the way, good start from Weaverblade. That's already 30% on the way. Got 4 people inside 2 rockets for his shots. So very nice play from Weaverblade. A great biotic grenade from Sweaty Brawls onto QED, the Wrecking Ball. We have a pause in the action here. Weaverblade taking out Destro. So the Pharaoh v Pharaoh versus Pharaoh mirror match, winning in the side of Nebula Phoenix. We have what looks to be maybe a disconnect from someone on either team. We'll find out here in just a second as teams are questioning why there is a pause in the action right now. But as it stands right now, you take a look at the board between these two teams, and Nightwolves and Nebula Phoenix. Maybe does Nightwolves have a chance going on?
Nightwolves definitely does. It's just a matter of shutting down the Pharah play. Weaver Blade not only has been great about finding where the damage needs to be at the right time, but at the same time, he's building that barrage incredibly fast. And it's just, it seems like every minute there's a barrage you have to worry about, and there's no real counter on the side of Nightwolves.
Mhm. All right, so we'll see what's going on here in just a second. Maybe we do believe someone has DC'd so far. We don't know if who it is on the side if we check the lobby and everything. Oh, and we're back in the game. So looks like somebody maybe had a little bit of a connection. But we're back into it. As great thing about Overwatch, though, it does give you that countdown timer to ready yourselves in. So that's a good thing from Overwatch, and this was already implemented from the beginning as well. So you can already see that Nessington taking down Ray here. Maybe a little bit of that disconnect startled them just a little bit, but they're going to have time to reset.
I mean, yeah, as you see, you have time to reset. They are going to attempt to sneak a little back up with Sombra. Unfortunately, it's not going to do a whole lot. The whole team rotates pretty much over already. And that's a pick as well. But just Weaver Blade on this Pharah is just dealing so much damage. And Nightwolves needs to answer it. They can't just pretend to ignore it and hope it doesn't happen.
It looks like maybe they're going for dry runs here, but right now you got 2 minutes and 50 seconds, just under the 3-minute mark remaining on the clock. Weaver Blade already having the first ultimate with that rocket barrage ready to go. Now the question is where and when he wants to use that. 2 minutes 40 seconds remaining on the clock here. QED again just trying to distract that entire team in the background. Only problem, this blue team from Nightwolves really not following in under the bridge. Maybe that's the strategy they're going for. Weaver Blade able to take down QED.
I mean, yeah, that unfortunately just seemed like discommunication. QAD went in on the point alone, and nobody was even close enough to attempt to follow up with him. So, seems like Nightwolf might be suffering from communication problems. Hopefully they can get it together. They're starting to get ults online.
As we see, nobody has used an ult just yet this game, so a little bit of a discourse going on between everybody. You can see their positions right now, just splitting up all together. Now you've got someone in the background here. Valkyrie's going to be used by Nymerio. Gonna help out. Now you've got a Deadeye coming out here from that side, and Kobe is able to take down Destro. Weaver Blade's gonna be able to get 2 kills on the Fluffalo and Ray, although Destro's back up, so it's down to a 64 situation. Don't know if this team from Nightwolves can hold on. And a minute 45 remaining. That's gonna be pretty much it.
But if you're Nightwolves, you'll absolutely take that. That was 4 ults on the side of Nebula that got used, and you used absolutely nothing. You just ran a dry push with Valkyrie. You can come back in now with your extreme ult advantage, 5 ults just versus a supercharger whole hog, and hopefully you get the picks that you need to win this fight.
Need 86.4% to win this point right now. A minute and 20 seconds remaining. Like you said, ultimates are online, but Weaver Blade taking out Ray right away, so you will not have a Dragon Strike. You will not have a res either for the next 30 seconds as Nymeria able to bring him back up. Now the question is, this team is sitting back a little bit. Do you think they're waiting for something?
I don't understand what they're exactly waiting for. They need to take advantage of the time that they have. If they have any sort of ult tracking on their team, they'll know that they have the ult advantage for at least the moment, but they could lose that with the EMP starting the engage.
EMP starts the engage. Rocket Barrage from Destro used at the right time. Taking out Kobe, Neutron, Dragon Straight, able to take down Sweaty Frost. It's down to a 6v3 or 5v3 situation as Weaver Blade takes down Destro. Your only problem is now the fact where Ray takes down Weaver Blade. One tick is going to happen. Can a second one happen as well? Is anybody going to be able to make it? They get blocked up, and that will be it. Put the broom back in the closet. There will be no sweep. Nightwolves tied up at 1.
And it looks like we're going to have a very good series between these two teams. Still a little bit of lacking of Pharah counters on the side of Nightwolves, but they're getting it done with their ultimates in the clutch times where they need.
Play the game going to Ray on this Bastion, and this, I believe, was right towards the end of their round. Yes, it was. 15 seconds left, eliminating Weaver Blade right out of the ultimate. Good Matrix there by C4OS as well. And really just the rest of the kills fall in their favor. So that will do it for map number 2. We will not see a sweep on either side, so this is going to be a good one. At least 4 maps we will see between these two teams here. It's tied up at 1 apiece. And right now, we're going to find out here our next match. And so far, so good. But, I mean, point-wise, you only saw 1 point. We didn't get to see the payload go through the castle walkway and, of course, into the castle itself. So, really, if you're going on to the 2 control points or assault map now, Temple of Anubis or Hanamura, your choices, which one are you picking?
Well, obviously, Nebula Phoenix is going to have their choice of Matt having lost the last match. But there's really just it's not the matter of Nebula Phoenix's play. They just have to not allow a Bastion to sit in a corner. That's pretty much all that happened on that map was they allowed Bastion to sit in a hidey hole where Weaverblade couldn't deal the damage that he needed to deal, and he's the main damage dealer for this team. You hear us bringing him up time and again, absolutely destroying on that Pharah. I mean, I guess I would opt into Hanamura. That'd probably be my best bet.
All right, so both teams are going to take a quick break. Nebula Phoenix with the next pick on the map, either going to be Temple of Anubis or Hanamura. We will take a short break. You're watching the Rose League Platinum semifinals. We'll be right back.
Oh, you make me wanna talk back to you. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. Baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill. Oh yeah. Take you like a pill. Am I fill you like a pill to get my fill. No, do me in the worst way.
1-1 our score here in the Conference 1 Platinum semifinals between the Nightwolves and Nebula Phoenix. Map number 1, Nebula Phoenix took convincingly in the Mecha Base as well as Sanctuary in Busan, but map number 2, only 1 point to see in the castles of Eichenwald, but Nightwolves able to take it down using that Bastion and Orisa combo. Nightwolves take it to a 1-1 tie going into our third map of Hanamura. Clutch Key on your play-by-play. First night of me on the producer side, but Megalad Color, we took a short break here, but we got to see 2 great maps so far. What do you like about these 2 teams going into this next map?
2 great maps. What I see is Nebula Phoenix knows where their bread is buttered. They know to enable Weaver Blade to set up those clutch plays, but on the other side of Nightwolves, while they may not believe in their specific skills to counter Pharah directly, they can counter indirectly by trying to play around the walls and just using their ultimate economy to their advantage. So it's definitely going to be a close game, I think.
All right, so we definitely are not going to see a sweep, so the broom stays inside the closet today. But 1-1, that's exactly how you like to see a semifinal matchup, or even in any playoff matchup. This thing going all the way through now. It's going to be interesting to see what these 2 teams play out, because again, we have not seen an escort or payload move just yet, and now we're going into a 2CP map. For sure, we will see escort between Junkertown or Dorado. That'll be interesting to watch which team picks what going into this next map. But Hanamura is the choice of Nebula Phoenix, so which side does this really favor?
Hanamura, it's 2CP. Defense is always favored on 2CP, especially since we do have the recent changes coming in that prevent snowballing. Speaking of snowballing, though, since we are on Hanamura, I want to see the Mei from both of these teams on defense, maybe even on offense if you believe in it, just because there's so many choke points you can wall off and so much zone you can cover with Mei.
Mm-hmm. So neither side has pulled out a Mei just yet, but we may be able to see one going into Hanamura. We are ready to play between these 2 teams, just awaiting confirmation from our match referee as well as the 2 teams themselves. Nebula Phoenix says they're ready. Nightwolves, I believe, said they were ready early on as well, just waiting on the Nightwolves. And yeah, so far so good between these 2 teams. Let's take a real quick recap of what's been going on here in the Platinum Division, as we'll take a look at the other divisions as well. They're going to enter Hanamura, and let's get ready to go. But first, Platinum Division playoffs. So far, you see the Lost Coyotes in the championship game. They had to go through 3 matches instead of 2, like the top 4 seed or the top 2 seeds would have. Project Ascension, they went through Team Rebirth in the playing game. They went through Project Ascension, the number 1 seed in the quarterfinals, and then went through the Hanamura Hellhounds, the number 2 seed in their semifinals to get to the championship game of the Platinum Division overall. In the Diamond Division playoffs, you will see the championship game going between Thanks for Scrimps Esports and the Conference 2 finalists, which is still to be determined between Pachimari Ninjas and CGC Sunstone. Master Division playoffs are almost set, scarred in the championship game, and the winners between Syndicate and the Raging Cajuns to be determined still. They will play scarred as the number 1 seed, and the Grandmaster Division playoffs won by the Hardballs altogether. So Platinum, Diamond, and Diamond and Masters Division still have yet to be determined in these playoffs, but we're approaching the end of Season 2. We'll talk about Season 3 in a little while here, but 30 seconds left to go in the 30 seconds left to watch these teams set up their defenses, prepare to attack. What do you see on the side of Nightwolves?
On the side of Nightwolves, they know what got them through Eichenwald, and it was this extremely great Bastion composition. But the main thing, like I said, was Destro on the McCree. It helps to shut down any Sombra play. It allows your Baptiste to keep healing, it allows your Bastion to keep dealing damage, and it allows your Orisa to just keep being Orisa, you know, a little cute.
All right, so here we go. Prepare to attack. Prepare your defenses is over. Time to play. Here with 4 minutes on the clock for the side of Nebula Phoenix. They're going to bring out the Sombra as well as a Genji. The first time we will see a Genji in this matchup so far. And Weaver Blade, maybe they're thinking that they have a Bastion this time?
I mean, probably expecting it at this point. Hopefully Weaver Blade can earn his Blade name and get a fat one here on this map.
We'll see if that Weaver Blade does come out here. 3 minutes and a half remaining on the clock. They know that the Bastion is there. And this wall, this gate, really difficult to get through. They have one on the point, so that's going to allow them to jump in. They jump in quickly right away. Weaver Blade never going to get 2 kills already. Fluffalo and Destro. This is all but over, ladies and gentlemen. What a push by Nebula Phoenix. They don't even need a minute to do it.
Exactly, and it was just beautiful synergy between the team there as a whole. The hack finally able to get on Bastion. Unfortunately, Destro just didn't seem to find Sombra that time. And then the very well coordinated dive with the anti-grenade coming in from Yarzik 123, and it was just 1-2-3 in the kill feed for Nebula.
So right now you can see the side of this team from Nightwolves having a little bit of trouble defending point number one. The point number one is always the more difficult one to defend. It's this point two that really favors the defense. Let's see if they try the same thing again here with 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. That's a lot of time.
Well, yes, but luckily you don't have the Bastion that needs to get jumped on here at all. It is just going to be a dive v dive, and as we get into the action, things seem to be picking up.
QED now switching on over to the Winston, which does in fact counter a Genji because everyone knows you can't deflect electricity, unfortunately. You're down to 5. You're down to a 5v5 situation. Great biotic grenade onto Fluffle, C4OS, and Nymeria, but unfortunately really not going to get any advantage out of it. So you're taking a look at this side, and how about 5 ultimates? Almost 6 ultimates on the side of Nebula Phoenix.
Yeah, and you're coming in as the attacker. EMP Blade should get you the point. Anything else just used to deal with the staggers. But I mean, we didn't really talk about the switch-ups coming in from Nebula at the half. It just seems to be, I don't know, a very good dive composition, a lot of coordination between this team, and hopefully they can come in, use this ult advantage, but not burn everything. That's the key.
And they're going to try the EMP. That's 5 people inside of the EMP coming from Kobe. A lot of ults used to the Blade. Both going to bring out the Dragon Blade special, the Nano Blade special as well. They've got the self-destruct coming out right down the middle. See if they can get anybody going on there. Nessington takes down Nymeria, not before Nymeria gets QED inside, but really this is a fight all going to Nebula Phoenix. But the Nightwolves trying to hold on as long as possible. Primal Rage brought out from QED, who is also hacked, cannot jump any longer, and QED goes down in the middle of the Primal Rage. It looks like Nebula Phoenix could take this one over, as Kobe able to take down QED, Fluffalo, and Ray at the same time. How does Somber play? Almost another EMP waiting for them in the depths of this fight. Self-destruct coming out. C4OS able to take down Kirk. No tick yet. This team from Nightwolves is fighting, but how much longer can they stand is the question. Primal Rage brought out from Spike Mecha, not gonna really get anything. EMP again, this time gets Destro and Ray. That was on the side of Kobe. Dragon Blade coming out from Weaver Blade, takes down Fluffalo and Ray. And Weaver Blade showing off the Dragon Blade skills. QED gets on the point in time, Slet shields up. And really, C4OS back onto it. I believe that's Chaos if you pronounce it correctly. And they're going to try another biotic grenade. Ray on this Tracer. Oh my goodness. How long is this fight going to go on, ladies and gentlemen? It just keeps rolling and rolling. And they're holding on as long as possible. This time a Dragon Blade coming out from Destro. Will it get anything? He swings the blade away. Really not going to get much of anything unless he can get Nessington. But Destro goes down. QED able to hold on. Slams down onto the ground on this point. Shields up. But it's also hacked, so really can't get anything rolling. A tick will happen here. Self-destruct onto the point. EMP. Chaos really can't do anything about it. Chaos will hold back. And Fluffalo still holding on as well, but the point will continue to run 5-0 on this point. Destro trying to hold on as long as possible. So is Nymeria. Ray gets there just in time. 1% left to go. Nymeria holds on as long as possible. QED back as well. Spike Mecha Nessington also getting kills onto the point. Ray and Nymeria both go down, but QED is trying to hold on as long as possible. But QED circles around the point, cannot hold on to it, and that is it. What a fight, lasting 2.5 minutes long from Nebula Phoenix. Cannot hold on to it any longer.
And that's just the reality of the 2 CP maps. You have such a defender's advantage. You saw the stall coming out, but in the end, there was just no kills coming from the side of Nightwolves. They had to at least get one pick to try to start to stabilize, try to turn something into a win for them, but they just kept coming out, dying, feeding ult charge over, and eventually enough ults will get enough kills for Nebula to pick up both points.
All right, so 17 seconds remaining on the clock. What a long fight, ladies and gentlemen. Almost 2.5, pretty much 2.5 minute fight went on there as long as they possibly could. And it was just blow after blow. But I mean, you got to give credit to Nightwolves. What a hold.
I mean, yes, definitely. They'll, like, it's the best of a bad situation. They'll definitely take that hold just because it's 2.5 minutes that they would not have had. The fight was pretty much lost from the word go with the EMP Nano Blade starting it off. But they were able to just, with the stall of a Hammond and a Lucio, constantly over and over again, keep coming in, keep it going, and get to where they are. Only 2 minutes, 32 seconds extra time bank on the side of Nebula.
All right, so 21 seconds. Take a look at the defensive side on Nebula Phoenix. They have 2.5 minutes on their time bank, but they're going to bring out, like you said, the May will come out from Weaver Blade. How happy does that make you?
Oh, it makes me ecstatic because I'm ready to watch somebody tilt in rage. That's what May can make you do. The walls are just too good, especially with the Goat's composition. Ryan can set up pins. You can conveniently cut off entire teams' pushes with a single ability. It's phenomenal.
All right, so 3 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock. They just got out of the out basically of the doors. You'll see QED and Chaos Rat on the Reinhardt Diva combo, although Diva frozen right away. Spike Mecha able to get a kill onto Destro. Spike Mecha will charge in, really not going to get anything going, but will have themselves a good play so far. Swings the hammer away, takes down Ray, and down to a 6v3 situation. You really can't come back from this one.
No, you can't, and they did try the symmetric teleporter, which is always a fun little gimmick to try to see teams. Helps get them first point sometimes, but I don't know if it was intentional for the teleporter. It only moved about 4 feet, so they weren't all the way to the point. They instead were kind of just right behind the enemy team, and instead of trying to engage that fight from behind, they tried to rush to point, and Nebula was just able to gun them down from behind while they moved.
So 1 minute gone, 3 left to go here. Nightwolves maybe look hold, or I'm sorry, Nebula Phoenix might be looking for a full hold. Remember, they can still tie this. Assault can still tie. Earthshatter comes in. I don't think that gets anybody from Spike Mecha, so Spike Mecha not getting a 0 on that Earthshatter. One person holding on point. Chaos in the background, but Chaos goes down immediately. So here we go with the fight again. A zone off, so McCree can't get anything going here, and that's going to help them out as Chaos goes down, and so does QED. One person on the point for free, though. I don't think they notice it by now. Mario on the point all by himself. Really not helping out his team any there in that last fight. Will go down for it.
Yeah, and unfortunately right there, Nymera could have been with his team to try to help him a bit more, but was just caught out. And the problem with this symmetric composition, now you see they changed off of it, but if you're not decisively able to TP as a team, you're just getting split off. And without any usage of anything on the side of Nebula, you're getting split off as well. That's the most important thing.
Halfway through this map 3 of Hanamura, tied at 1 apiece here in the Rose League Platinum semi-final matchup, or the Conference 1 Championship game. They're already going to bring out the Blizzard. This time it's beyond the gate, but they're going to hold on to 3 people inside of it. QED, Destro, and Amiria, unfortunately, all caught up inside of it. What a zone, by the way, as well, from this May of Weaver Blade. That's going to get the kills they need. Only 2 people live to tell the tale, QED and Ray.
And once again, that's another fight Nebula wins. They only use 2 ultimates, and they have more ultimates to just keep cycling, especially with how fast May is able to build ults. Against the Goat's composition, she just has to spray her ice in. Since it does affect multiple people at once now, they changed it a few patches back. It just builds ult like nobody's business.
80 seconds left to go in this matchup. Nexus already taking down Nightmare, and Earthshatter gets in. QED goes down. Else does, but that Earthshatter may have been well used anyways with 1:10 remaining on the clock, and the May can be so effective here. Freezes down Chaos out of mech, and that will pretty much be it for the fight. They got to go back to the arcade.
Back to the arcade one more time. Spike Mecha does use Shatter there. I mean, wasn't necessary, maybe not, but the huge May wall coming in from Weaver Blade gets the Rhine zoned out, and when you're that close in a Rhine v Rhine and you can't move as the defending Rhine, well, then it looks like you're out of luck.
All right, so we're down to 45 seconds remaining on the clock. And they're going to try and see what, maybe this could be last fight. Nebula Phoenix has 2 points. They did not have needed it on. Earthshatter being used by QED, not going to find anybody. Zoned off by the May wall, but the May wall catches everybody on top and not inside. But there is a Graviton search. This is your advantage. 3 people simultaneously going down. Only 1 left, Chaos, to get the team kill. 24 seconds remaining on the clock. They've already got a team kill. We're waiting until about 5 seconds left to get this point.
And unfortunately, you're going to have to push in. All you're going to have, realistically, if you can draw out the fight, you might get grabbed, you might get beat. But unfortunately, you're walking into a Blizzard, a Shatter, a Transcendence, and a beat on the other side. It's looking very, very hard for Nebula to lose this.
And I don't think anybody's going to be able to get to the point on time. That's the thing, and they don't need 2. They only needed 1 tick. A full hold for the side of Nebula Phoenix. And they are up 2-1, just 1 win away from the championship game.
I mean, each match going back and forth is looking dominant. One team turns up one match, one team turns up the other. Just the May play. Weaver this entire match, regardless of what hero he's been on, has been turning up for the side of Nebula. Huge props to him and his mechanical ability.
By the way, I want to point out something here. We just saw in that last play of the game, by the way, by going to a Spike Mecha, rightfully so, and that Reinhardt coming towards the end. But I've never seen this before. 5 assists coming on the side. Spike Mecha gets the kill, but has 5 assists going along with it. I've never seen that line before. That just shows you how much of a team this Nebula Phoenix team really is when they can play it right all together.
Hey, that's what we like to call team effort. They work together.
All right, so coming up here, map number 4, we've seen Control, we've seen Hybrid, we've seen Assault. That means the only map left to play is the Escorn map. It is down between Junkertown and Dorado, between these two. And let's take a look at what map they're going to choose here between these two teams. Remember, Nightwolves is down in the count, so they will choose the map for this coming Escorn map. So if you're the side of Nightwolves, which one are you picking?
Unfortunately, you're noticing the DPS play on the side of Nebula Phoenix is just far too superior. You have to try to force them to meet you in whatever you do. I mean, between Dorado and Junkertown, there's not a whole lot of options for you. They're both pretty much DPS favored maps, but Dorado would be your better pick.
All right, by the way, my apologies. There was 4 assists on that Spike Mecha last kill, but nonetheless a great team effort anyways, but that might have been the first time I've seen that little line, the little line, you know.
Listen, it was still a team effort. They tried.
Yeah, it was still a team effort. It was still a team effort, and that's what you call there's no I in team. That's the way you play the game. So right now you're taking a look at what they're doing here, and it looks like we are sticking to Dorado. So we've gone all over the map. We've gone to South Korea, we went to Germany, we go back to Asia and Japan. And now we're in North America, to Mexico. This really is a world game, isn't it?
I mean, yes, indeed. And that's the great thing about Overwatch. You can go to a lot of different maps that offer a lot of different things, a lot of different play styles for every single person.
All right. And Overwatch, I'm from there, so I'm still waiting for a map for Hawaii. Just by the way, it can be an escort. I don't care which one it is, but still waiting for a Hawaii map, by the way, Overwatch, if you can hear us. Anyways, 15 seconds remaining on the clock of some of the heroes. What do you think the team from Nightwolves has to do to pull off this win?
It's just a matter of, do you try to bunker it? Do you try to believe in your Bastion that hard again? Or do you know it's going to get shut down? Possibly try to execute some dives. There's a lot of high ground to play with on Dorado. Winston's not uncommon, especially a Winston Goats variant. It all depends on where they start.
So take a look at the Nightwolf side. They're going to, on the defensive side, they're going to pull out the Bastion recent combo again, and this could work if they're going to play this upstairs on that second level overlooking the payload. Question is, somebody's got to get down on that payload too to defend it if that thing keeps rolling.
And that's the biggest thing is C4OS. I don't know if he's got a proper way to pronounce that, but he might be trying. But he's got to be
Chaos. We'll say C4OS or Chaos. We'll see.
Chaos, either or. He's got to be the one to rotate onto point. He's been trying his best to do it this match, but it's just not been there, not been apparent. And he's got to be the one to keep this payload contested. Otherwise, they're going to be able to roll right underneath their noses.
All right, so the 4-minute time is underway. Last chance for Nightwolves to get a point here. Otherwise, Nebula Phoenix wins this map. It is all over. We see them in the Platinum Division Championship game. The payload will keep rolling right around this corner, but they know the Bastion's up there, so that payload will stick on that corner, and they're going to try to see how much damage they can get onto them so far. They're going to bring out a lot of explosives here. Weaver Blade onto that Pharah, but Chaos taking down Neutron right away. Ray also takes down Yarsik, so no more resist coming up. The Immortality field taken down by Weaver Blade, but that's not going to be much of anything going for the rest of that team. You see that Sombra hiding out in the background here, but Kobe really not doing much of anything there to help out the team.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, he couldn't get in time for that engage, and where you see they were able to deal with it so resoundingly on Hanamura, they can't hear just because Kurt can't get in position for that anti-nade like they did on Hanamura.
So this time they're going to allow the payload to move up. This time maybe a little bit more open positioning for this Pharah, because now they're inside the night market, or I guess you could say the plaza here with 2 minutes and 55 seconds, hanging right around the fountain area. The payload will move up. Not too much room for Ray to look at. Actually, if you take a look at Ray's perspective, really not too much room to see anything going, although a lot of protection, you can call it. But they're going to come right around. 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining on the clock. They're going to try right around, but right down. Neutron goes down by the hands of Ray. So does Kirk. Immortality field taken out by Kobe, so no more chances for the next 15 seconds to stay alive as long as possible. With Chaos taking down Weaver Blade, that might just be it. And so Nightwolves will hold on.
I guess you could call it an anti-caster's curse, but I said Chaos needed to turn up, and that's what he's been doing. He's all over the place, finally keeping Weaver on the Pharah in check, keeping the payload from moving forward, and keeping his Bastion alive when Aristo just wasn't there to do it. Absolutely phenomenal play being all over the place from him.
Now here's the thing about the positioning too. They keep moving back and back farther for QED and Ray, but if you're trying to hold on to point number 1, there's only so far you can move back.
Well, there's only so far you can move back, but then also you're trying to play out of not letting Pharah get to you easily, and there's the EMP starting the action.
There's the EMP, there's the Bionic Grenade at the same time. Nobody can heal. That's a great play from Nebula Phoenix. The payload moves up to point number 1 with nobody defending, and so we will see an extra 2.5 on the clock.
Unfortunately, if you're Nightwolves, your flaw was that you were trying to just keep the defense going by backing up further and further. Hopefully, that way you can see the Pharah come in, but Pharah can come in wherever she please when you all turn to face a Sombra that's EMP.
So 3 minutes and 55 seconds. Back to a normal 4-minute time bank. The payload will continue around. Now this is the turn, the S-curve that everybody dreads, because this is where you make it or break it on the second point, basically.
Well, yes, this is either where you can get held in fear for your time, or you can absolutely steamroll through and get a lot of time on your clock.
Rocket Barrage used on that second level to take down Nymera. It does take down take the Mercy down, so no more reses or no more big kills coming up here in the next 20 seconds coming up. Really, as it stands, you've got a self-destruct coming in. Nobody can protect them, so Chaos is going to get debacked immediately. That's good for the side of Nebula Phoenix, and this payload will have most likely no trouble moving around.
Yeah, unfortunately, the payload might even get through the end of second here. That's just the problem of they lost their Mercy, and instead of decisively making a disengage, they just kind of sat and waited, which allowed Weaverblade to deal more damage. And as you see, he's already halfway to another barrage. It's just insane how fast he's building that ultimate.
Alright, so that payload will stop right before. Do they get the point? Yes, they do. Self-destruct not in time to kill off anybody on that payload. So it will be another 1.5 minutes added onto their time bank, back to the basically 4-minute time bank that they had at the start of this round. Kobe able to take down QED. Nebula Phoenix looks like they really want this championship game, and Nightwolves just can't do anything about it.
And what you see right there is Neutron stayed on the cart, and he just was able to have his bubble cooldown to stop the self-destruct from doing any damage, and allowed them to push the payload the rest of the way to secure that objective.
4 minutes remaining on the clock. We'll see what they want to do on the side of Nightwolves. If they adjust anything, Ray now on the Widowmaker in infrared sight, but really is if that ult is anything going, that's really only to win the fight, and that's exactly what Ray notices, that we're already inside the pyramid, can't really do anything about an infrared sight. You're down to 3.5 minutes remaining on this clock, but take a look at this team from Nightwolves. They're pushed back all the way, and we're almost in the home stretch.
And now they're switching up their composition yet again, and unfortunately it's leaving an indecision and huge ults.
Huge ults being played. Rocket Barrage getting QED and Destro at the same right after the EMP takes down QED, and Rocket's just flying down from the air, as well as bullets raining from Kobe, who takes down Chaos all together with an assist from Kirk. And now that payload has no trouble. Somebody's got to get on there, though. That payload's not moving. But now we are into the home stretch for the payload with 3 minutes remaining on the clock. Plenty of time. Primal Rage being brought out, and self-destruct as well, taking out QED in Primal Rage mode. That's going to be enough for them. They're going to try to hold down as long as they can. This is the fight that Nightwolves needs to hold for the next 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Chaos able to take down Weaverblade on the rocket tackle. And now 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining left on the clock. A great Bionic Grenade coming from Kirk yet again. Self-destruct. Chaos takes down Neutron, so the Winstons are gone. QED switches on over to the hammer of Reinhardt. So we'll see if that holds on for as long as they can. Kirk is going to almost be taken down here, and that's pretty much it. As you can see, they're spreading them out too far.
Yeah, unfortunately, right there, Nightwolves got very dangerous because they were switching a lot of ultimates at the very last second. They do finally get recontrol. They do get onto this standard GOATS composition. The only downside is we're closing in on another rocket barrage. It's going to be on Chaos. He has to shut this down in the back half.
They're in the back. They almost have the sneak. They almost have it. A .46. Even our producer first night, he had to go unmuted for a second just to hold on to it. But almost had the sneaker on. We even have a pause to disconnect. Hold on a minute. What, ladies and gentlemen, what if that actually happened? What if that had actually happened?
I think if that back cap happens, if Jacoby is able to get that, then regardless of how mechanically good Nightwolves can pull up, I think it's just over at that point, because the mental game of losing to a C9, that's just any player who's ever played the game knows that it hurts a lot.
See, now the question is, is that sneak around considered a C9? Because I don't think they knew it was coming in the first place.
I mean, anything, it's plat chat. Anything off the payload is a C9.
All right. Well, we find out that Destro disconnected here. We take a look. I'm actually watching the stream back here, and this is a very impressive run. Good camera work by our producer, First Night of Need, to notice that Somber right away. To that almost just sneaks up by there, and unfortunately, at that same time, that disconnects Destro from the game. We'll see if he can get him back. But also coming up here in a little while. With this matchup here, I don't not we're gonna have time to get back into it. Oh, and we're back into the game. By the way, another match coming up here is that finals. Again, we're gonna have another EMP right back into it as the Rocket Barrage takes down 3 people at the same time. I don't know if this side from Nightwolves was ready to play, but they are back into it and they have got what they needed. Nebula Phoenix, uno, dos, adios.
Yeah, unfortunately, right there, that's one of the downsides to competition, is if a disconnect like that happens. While he was able to rejoin the game, he wasn't with his team, which immediately leads to a 5v6 engagement, especially against an EMP barrage. An EMP barrage, especially when Weaver's the one doing the barraging, it's just pretty much over.
All right, so we go back to it now. 30 seconds remaining on the clock for these teams, and we didn't even see the pause just happened right away too. The unpause rather. So Destro back in the game, but you lose that ultimate advantage, like you said. So now 20 seconds left to go in the game. Your ping is back in, so hopefully everything is going now. But Nightwolves, this is basically their last chance. If they don't go all 3, it is over. Nebula Phoenix is in the championship game. So if you're Nightwolves, what do you have to do?
You have to make decisions, and you have to make them quick. There was a lot of just, oh, do we disengage here even though we're down 1? Do we switch to this composition? Even if you think a decision could be wrong, you have to take a gut decision, and you're just going to have to roll with it because you don't have any room for error. It's a lot better to stick on something you might not think work, but you truly believe in yourselves rather than just constantly switching and losing time off that clock.
All right, so take a look at the defensive side. The red side is your defense from the Nebula Phoenix team. Nessington as well as Neutron. Going to bring out something different here with the Orisa Diva combo. Kirk and Yarzik on your healers. Kirk playing the beat Baptiste, Yarzik on the Mercy. And Kobe and Weaver Blade going to try something a little bit different here. Not a McCree, but Weaver now on the Junkrat. Weaver just playing any DPS he wants. Kobe on the Bastion.
I mean, yes, indeed. Weaver able to also counter Sombra with the Junkrat trap. A lot of zoning potential from this team, and that's something that Nebula has been able to use to their advantage a lot in this entire match, is just the zoning potential of their compositions.
3:40 left to go on the clock. Basically going to try the same strategy that this team from Nightwolves done. Unfortunately, not paying off so far as that shield. I think, actually, if you looked at it, that shield practically misses the Bastion second level. As they go right around it, so that might not have been a good start for them. Destro able to get rid of the immortality field put up by Kirk, so that's going to take down just a little, or help them out just a little bit here, but they've just got pressure onto that shield. Kobe able to take down Ray, so down to a 5v5 situation, and already an application. Matrix brought out good help from the Baptiste of Kirk for Kobe to take down Destro and Fluffalo. No more res is coming up as Nymeria picks up Ray, but really they're too spread out to let this fight continue.
Yeah, and Nebula does try their best in order to do what they have to do, but they did mess up that shield, as you saw, which forced their rotation, but they decisively rotated. We're like, all right, we lost this fight, we'll lose the corner, but if we rotate now, we can definitely make something out of this.
So 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining on the clock. We'll see the Sparrow combo. Destro has a rocket rush to use. Immortality field brought up by Kirk just to be safe. They almost died. But now they're going to bring out the landmines already. Landmines take down Yarzik. Nymeria able to take down that immortality field, but Kobe somehow kills himself in the process. Don't know how in that matter. But Nymeria able to bring up back Ray. Weaver Blade trying to do what he can with the mines that he has, but unfortunately won't be able to get it. So 1 point, 2.5 minutes added to the time bank of Nightwolves.
And they cap the point with the stagger onto Diva right here, which is going to be huge, especially for the time bank moving forward, because they're going to need to get as much payload progress as they can in the shortest amount of time, because they are always going to be working against the clock on the side of Nebula.
Quick switch, by the way. Kobe no longer on the Bastion, moving on over to the Widowmaker. See if they can get any picks from the second level or above. We'll see if that happens out. Kobe able to take down Nymeria just as I say that. So Kobe and Weaver Blade so far, the impressive DPS is coming out from the side of Nebula Phoenix so far. Down to 4 minutes on the clock. Down still now a 64 situation in QED, and Fluffle goes down. Here comes the Riptire, not able to get anything. But how about Kobe switching on over to this Widowmaker and already almost at the ult?
I mean, the Widow absolutely turning up. Weaverblade, though, for the first time, I'm questioning his ult usage there. Random tire, the fight was already won. Don't know what he was really tracking, possibly thinking he would switch, but he is still in the fight on the Junkrat. So maybe he just thought the fight wasn't over and he had to guarantee it.
So down to the final 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining on the clock. Kobe again getting another shot onto Ray. Has an infrared sight, he does use it. Nymeria able to get the res up onto Ray, but no more reses for the next 30 seconds here for Nymeria. Although you take a look at the ult advantages right now, Nightwolf's in a sort of good position, you can call it. And
we'll 6 ultimates, but what can you do with them is the question. That's always been the question with Nightwolves. Can they execute with what they have, or are they going to get shut down by simply nothing?
Valkyrie leads off, but no EMP coming as Chaos goes down in the fight, courtesy of Weaverblade. Now down to the 3-minute mark, still got plenty of time, but Ray's going to go down immediately also by the hands of Neutron. And again, they're just going to push back. It looks like Nebula Phoenix has too much pressure onto them.
I mean, yeah, it's just this composition of a Widow. Without Widow ever firing a shot, she controls the game in such a different way. You have to be careful of peeking any and all types of angles. She could be waiting for you. And then Junkrat, while you see his zoning, it doesn't scare you. Each of those grenades, 120 damage, I believe, possibly even more with the action starting back up.
EMP starts off so far. They're going to bring up a Rocket Barrage. Destro able to get Kirk and Kobe at the same time. That's going to help out Nessington out of mech, but 3 kills coming at the same time for the Nebula Phoenix. They're just going to trade blows, but Chaos as well as Weaver, the only ones left to go on this fight. Weaver takes down, oh, but Chaos, they trade. Oh, Chaos could not get out of the death bombs of Weaverblade. QD holds on to the point, and he's just going to sit nicely.
Weaver actually was the hero play in that move. Yes, the car is going to get some progress now, but I believe he drops 4, possibly 5 kills on his lonesome, just absolutely destroying the team.
So 2 minutes left to go on the clock. Half the time tank gone. Dragon Strike's going to come right down, right next to the 2nd level from what it looks like. Really not going to find anything going. And now they're going to try to see if Kobe, another shot onto Ray, punishing him for ever using that Dragon Strike. Another kill onto Chaos. This is insane from what Kobe is doing so far. And Nebula Phoenix already wins the fight, not even having to use a single ult. We'll have 6.
Exactly, and now they're pushing against their time luck. They only have 1:30 left on the clock. No ults on their side. They have to get a dry push. They have to get ults out. Otherwise, it could be lights out for them here. Nebula's got all the cards. They just have to keep playing them. Kobe, he's clicking every head in his sight. Somebody told him to just click heads for head, and he was like, yes, sir.
All right, so down to 1 minute, 10 seconds remaining. Every ultimate available for Nebula Phoenix. Nothing on the side of Nightwolf, so you could say that the cards are in favor of Nebula Phoenix right now. Nightwolves might have their last 60 seconds of their season right here. Destro able to take down Weaverblade's Riptire right away. Good aim from Destro. That's a Pharah aiming onto a Riptire. That's something you rarely see. 50 seconds remaining on the clock. And a Valkyrie comes out for Nymeria, has it in time. Chaos might build an EMP if he stays alive just in time. Primal Rage used by Neutron. Kobe can't use the infrared sight. Self-destruct right onto the middle. Oh, 2nd level, but does get Ray, who switches onto the Widowmaker, which I should have said earlier, but didn't mention it. 35 seconds remaining on the clock. They will have their push-up for the side of Nebula Phoenix, but Nightwolves just cannot get anything going here. They're going to slam right on to the Winston. No heals either, so Neutron has to back up. Bionic Grenade helping out courtesy of Fluffalo, who does have a nano boost. I believe that is on to the Wrecking Ball as well. Landmine's right around this payload, down to the final 15 seconds left to go. This is an all-out brawl at this point. Kobe takes down Ray on the headshot, down to a 65 situation. I don't believe Nymeria has a res either for the next few seconds here. EMP, 5 people inside of it. QED able to take down Kirk. This is the chance you want to take, but Kobe answered right away. Destro and Chaos both go down at the same time. Weaverblade's gonna get the mine. This looks like it is all but over. Nebula Phoenix, we will see you in the championship game.
And they definitely earned that spot, especially the tank play there at the end. Even when picks weren't going their way and they were trading, that cart got no progress between the tank duo of Neutron and Nessington. They continually traded off without feeding over ults, without feeding over damage, just constantly on that payload, not allowing it to move even an inch for free.
Right after the disconnect here, Weaverblade gets a triple kill on the Rocket Barrage. Not much else to be said other than that. Gets a 4th kill onto Nymera and a 5th kill onto Testro. That won it all basically for their point. Nonetheless, great series between these two teams. We'll see Nebula Phoenix into the championship game. They will play on against the Lost Coyotes. It is a number 2 versus number 5 fight, but congratulations to the Night Wolves, your Conference 1 champions. Lost Coyotes coming up next in the Platinum Division between June 24th and June 29th. We will let you know when that is. But great round all around. Nothing bad can be said about the Night Wolves, so they put up such a great fight.
They put up such a great fight. It's just a matter of the DPS duo on the side of Nebula absolutely turned up. The tank play was there. The healing play was there. It was just all there, and it all worked synergy-wise, and it just resulted in a very dominant win.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at our final points here. I don't know if first night, Nee, do you have a microphone that you can put up on stream? All right, are you live on stream?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's take a look at this. I like to do this all the time, but let's give our most valuable player here, MVP of the match, or I guess you could say player of the match, PLTM. In different cases, who cares what it is? But anyways, most important player. Let's take a look at both teams actually. Overall, who's your player of the match? We'll start off with our producer, First Night of Nee.
Well, I'm going to definitely have to give this to Kobe on the side of Nebula Phoenix. Just mainly for his play there towards the end on the last map, but overall he did some fantastic work helping to support his team and get those key picks that were going on throughout all the games, but specifically his Widow play there on the end of Dorado was just absolutely insane. I don't know if you guys saw it, but at the very end, towards the very end of the fight, there was a pretty nasty flank he went on and got, I think it was like 2 kills and then 2 assists that basically led to them winning that map and then going on to go to the championship. So I'm definitely going to have to give it to Kobe.
All right, so Kobe gets 1 nod for player of the match. Megalad, you guys saw. You were mentioning Kobe a lot as well, but Kobe, Weaverblade, actually everybody on Nebula gets a nod for some, but Megalad, who's your MVP for this match?
Well, while Weaver was the one popping off the most, I definitely have to give it to Nessington. Enabling Weaver in a lot of those situations, it may not be the most obvious thing, you don't see him in the kill feed as much with the flashy kills, but he's always there contesting payload, absolutely on the objective, but also enabling his team to do what they do best, and truly just a phenomenal all-around player.
All right, and I'll give my nod to Weaverblade. You two go off, but Weaverblade had such great maps using the Pharah, using the Genji, and basically almost in any DPS that he used was basically popping off. So Weaverblade getting our nods. So Weaverblade, Nessington, as well as Kobe getting our nods for players of the match by the Rose League crew here. But that will pretty much do it. But do not go away. We still have one more match to play. It is the Masters semifinals. You thought this was exciting. Stick around for the next one. Masters semifinals with Expandable Syndicate versus Raging Cajuns. That will determine who plays in the championship round against Thanks for Scrims Esports. So again, don't go anywhere, guys. Any final words from you two?
I'm just looking forward to a great match in the Masters division coming up.
First Night, you got any final words for these teams? Are we excited to watch a great Platinum Championship?
I mean, I'm honestly extremely excited for the Platinum Championship. I've been here for basically every single Platinum playoff game. I think I missed like maybe 1 or 2, but I have followed Nebula Phoenix and Lost Coyotes through their entire playoff run, and it has been pretty exciting watching these two teams go through, going from a play-in game ranked both of them as the lowest seed possible, and then to both come in to the championship. It's going to be exciting.
All right, so that will just about wrap us up. Remember, do not leave. After this, the Master semifinals coming up on another stream, presented by Silent Marine on your producer side, and Bermuda or Footmob, I should say, and Toots from Expandable Esports. Coming to you live from the Masters semifinals. For all of us here at the Rose League, First Night of New producer Megalad on your color side. My name is Clutchy Play-by-Play. We'll see you guys in the future. Nebula Phoenix, congratulations, heading to the championship round to face off against the Los Coyotes. And we will see you in the future. Take care, everybody. Masters semifinals coming up next.
Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. Baby, but you